Alright, so what we're doing today is, so in a previous video I pulled the calipers off the parts car and just swapped them over onto, I was kind of in a hurry, just swapped them on, and I should have checked them, should have ran them in, you know, with C-clamp, make sure they weren't froze up. I assumed they were in good shape because the brakes were not stuck on that car. You know, they worked freely. It had new rotors on the rear, good looking pads, looked like they were almost brand new pads, and it's got a new master cylinder, new brake booster, so it looks like somebody had just completely went through the brakes on it. Judging by the sticker on the car, it's sat for about 2 years, and so you know, in that 2 years I guess they froze up because they were sticking. So I quickly pulled it back apart and just ran the pistons in, you know, with C-clamp, pushed them back out with brake pedal, ran them back in, did that a couple times, got them kind of freed up, but I think they're still dragging a little bit, so made the decision to just rebuild my original calipers. So I pulled them back off the parts car and I bought these kits. This is enough to do one caliper. You get 2 pistons in each caliper, so this comes with the seals for both pistons and the little O-rings that go, these separate. You got 4 bolts and they separate into 2 halves, so you've got enough to separate this caliper, redo the little piston seals and the dust, it comes with the dust boots, and the O-rings that go in the halves once you separate it. So I went ahead and got 2 of them. We'll probably go ahead and just rebuild both calipers. I got them both sitting here. These are the ATE calipers, and I think the ones I've got on my car right now that came off the parts car are the Bendix. These are the, I don't know if these are original to my car, but I think if I remember right, I had ATE front calipers as well. So we're gonna rebuild. You can see this one looks like it was wearing pretty well. We'll probably go ahead and rebuild it anyway. And this one, this was one side. That is going to be, I think, this one, and then this one was over here. You can see how worn down it is. It was definitely sticking. So like I said, we got it all apart, got the pads out. Now we need to get this thing apart. I went ahead and also got new brake hoses. I thought I put brake hoses on it, but I did not, so I went ahead and picked up some. These were like $4 on eBay, or no, Amazon. And then I picked up a little hone. I did not have one. I've got ones that were too small, I've got ones that are too big, but I did not have one that was the right size to do caliper. So that should, we should be able to hone the caliper out and get this thing rebuilt. I normally just buy replacement rebuilt calipers, but a rebuilt caliper for this thing is like $58, not including the core cost. And I bought these 2 kits. I think both of them together were like $20 or less. So I'm rebuilding both for less than the price of one caliper. So figured I'd go ahead and do it, and we will see how it goes. So I'm going to set y'all up on time lapse. What I'm going to do is try to get these pistons apart. I'm going to try air right here, and if I can't get apart with air, I might have to throw it on the car and use the brake system to push them apart. We'll see. So we are ready to reassemble, and I will show y'all. I use some transmission fluid on the, of course, and some brake fluid because there's brake fluid in there to hone those out. These don't get too hung up on trying to clean this up too much on here, because this is not your sealing surface in here. Your sealing surface is the piston itself. The seal goes in here and rides along this, which moves the piston, which moves in and out. You know, if the seal was on the piston, then you would need to make sure this surface is perfect. You know, but it's not. It's on here, so you need to make sure this surface is perfect. I honed it out just to take off, because what happens, the way these things, they can seize up several ways. One, either, you know, you get rust and stuff that gets stuck to here and it seizes. Well, basically this seizes up against the housing, and normally it's the housing that has rusted, and so that's what you hone out. And of course you can see it's got some pitting in it and stuff, but it's smooth, so you feel it. You don't feel that pitting. It's smooth. There's nothing. You just want to make sure there's nothing that piston's going to hang up on, and that's what I've done. And the piston, so I just honed those out, clean them up, cleaned out this groove where this seal's going to ride with the pick. Just got in there and scraped all around real good and blew it out, so that's real good. Of course, blew all the passages out, so this thing is ready to go back together. The piston itself, I took it, of course now it's dirty, my gloves are dirty, but took it, and this, I think it's got some, I thought these were going to be aluminum, but I think they might be stainless, because they're heavy. I don't think they're aluminum. So yeah, my gloves are dirty. What I did is I took this over to I've got a brass wire wheel, and took it over to that and cleaned it up, and they cleaned up nicely. They look perfect. So got them cleaned up. Let's see that one. So those should seal very nice. That's just junk from my glove, but those cleaned up really well. And then just kind of clean this. This is where the dust seal goes. Clean that up, and I didn't even really bother with down in there, but I'll wipe that out before I put it back together. But yeah, dust seal goes there. I just kind of clean that up with the wire wheel as well. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Main area you want to clean up is this right here, and just hit the end of it real quick too. And then here's the other half. You can see it's got some pitting in there as well, but you know, it is also smooth. There's nothing that piston's going to catch on. We'll have to clean, looks like we need to clean that. We got a little junk right there. Clean that up. And we're going to put a seal in there. So what we've got in this kit is a seal that's going to go in there. We're going to lubricate everything with brake fluid as we put it back together. And once we get that seal in there, we will fight to get that piston in there. Not sure, it's got a little bit of a taper to it, you know, rounded corner, so hopefully it won't be too much trouble going in there. Once we get in there, we'll put the dust seal around it and we should be good to go. So let's continue on. I'm gonna put the time lapse back on and y'all can see me work. Alright, that was not too bad. So this one is rebuilt and ready to go back on the car. One thing I did notice, see that yellow on it? Looks like this came from a junkyard. That was the one that was seized the most. This one, can't tell, that might be yellow as well. Or maybe somebody put something on the threads, the brake line, I don't know. It could be both junkyard. That one's got markings across here too. It's a yellow. So, and over here, this one's been marked up. I don't see that on this one, so that one was probably a junkyard caliper somebody put on it. So this one seemed to be working okay, but I'm gonna go ahead, it was super easy to rebuild, so I'm gonna go ahead and just rebuild this one. I'm not gonna video that because I just videoed that one. So we're gonna cut this off here. And like I said, I showed how to replace these calipers on a previous video, so I'm not gonna go through that either. We're just gonna go, I'm gonna rebuild this one and I'm gonna go put them on the car with new brake hoses, and we should be good on the rear brakes. The front brakes, I bought a rebuilt caliper for, I think, the passenger side front, if I remember right, and it's heavy braking. It pulls, it only normally does it if you slam on the brakes. It pulls one way, I don't remember which way, but I think the other caliper probably needs to be rebuilt, and I'll probably just rebuild that one and not buy a replacement. I think that's, if it's as easy as these were, which these were super easy, I think that's probably the route to go. These kits seem to be good quality and they were cheap, so hopefully they'll hold up. It's just rubber. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions about doing this. Leave a comment and I'll try to answer the best of my ability. So thanks for watching.